thinking about it, and life is kind of a bad joke. I mean, you're born, you're here for like 80 or 90 years if you're lucky, and then you just die. What's the point? I don't want my life to end. I want more of it. Because look, if there's one thing that I've learned from being an American, it's that more is automatically better. I love more. It's the quantity that makes my quality of life better. That wonderful idea of addition and multiplication. Oh, and speaking of multiplication, a great example of what I'm talking about is when it comes to, well, you know. Okay, so imagine you have a significant other. You two have been dating a while, and then you shared your first kiss. Well, that was fun and all, but guess what you want now? More. And the next thing you know, pregnancy. Nah, just kidding. But seriously, if you've ever had a significant other with whom you've been physical, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If this is where things are, this is where you want them to be. And as soon as they're here, you want them to be here. Junior usually shows up somewhere around here. Never, ever, ever does anybody stop and say,
hey, you know what? Maybe we should put the brakes on this thing so it doesn't escalate too quickly. Our patience might pay off later.
That makes a lot of sense.
It really does. Doesn't it? But once you bring those selfish animalistic instincts into the mix, who knows what could happen? And speaking of animals, let's talk about food. Because this is another area where more is clearly better. See, it's not enough to just enjoy a nice meal. No way, you have to eat until you're so full that you're on a first name basis with Mr. Potty. I mean, when you go out to eat, it's just not right to let those gargantuan food portions go to waste. There are people starving, you know? They would kill for a meal that big. And then the waiter comes by and is like, did you save room for dessert, sir? And you're like, no, sir, I did not. But you know what? Bring it on. Never mind the fact that you just ate more than a starving kid in Africa eats in a week. You never know if you're gonna eat again, so you have to completely overeat until your stomach can take no more. And speaking of overpriced, when it comes to material possessions, you just know you gotta have more. What else is there to life besides accumulating more and more stuff?
Excuse me, sir, how much is this phone?
Without a contract, that's gonna run you about $600.
What? $600? That is a hefty price! You accept checks?
And I know everyone wants to take the moral high ground and act like they aren't this way, but come on, let's just be honest. Take a look at the room that you're in right now. See? You know I'm right. We just love getting more things. We're never gonna be satisfied with what we currently have. And why should we be? We're Americans, darn it! We can have whatever we want. Money, electronics, cars, Syria. You know, it's really just a shame that we only get a few short years to walk this earth and accumulate things for ourselves. It's really just a darn shame. I wish that I could live forever and just take for eternity. That sounds like heaven.
Next week on Messy Mondays, Big Head Kid demands more ice cream.
Give me more ice cream.
You've already had enough.
Who are you, God? Give me more ice cream.
You've already had an entire carton in one sitting.
Oh, now you're judging me. I thought you guys were supposed to be a Christian family.